What's going on, everybody? Welcome to AJW. We took the week off, but during that week, we got a sponsor. Well, more like a presented by. We're presented by the PVGA, the Professional Video Game Alliance, which is something that my man Josh here is a part of. And there's some shit we're gonna get into about that later. How we feel like I feel like he got snubbed, and how I feel about how I kind of bolstered up his confidence so high, and it didn't get to where I delivered, but that's all good in the hood. But we'll get to that at the end of the video. But until then, so Jason and I talked about a little bit on Thursday about this, for the Fighter Fest that went on. That got a lot of negative response that I actually wasn't aware of. I knew that they lost the ratings to NXT. I was a little surprised that it didn't get a lot of the buzz, and a lot of people were like hating on a lot of the matches. So we're going to go through a couple matches and get your thoughts of it. But in a whole, what did you guys think of the show? Did you think it was as bad as everyone thought it was, or we'll go with Matt first?
I mean, I watched the whole show, and honestly, it was pretty bad. Wow. the whole card was like 4 matches. Wow. I can't say that the matches were bad necessarily. It's just the expectation that you have from AEW 90% of the time, and getting this, it was just way off script compared to what they normally do. That was just my opinion of it.
Yeah, Josh.
I'll say this: I wasn't blown away. I didn't think it was great. There's some people that fought during this television taping who I am no longer. I'm no longer in their corner. I'm done with them, and I'm writing them off. But I will say that what I'm trying to take into account is that we are still trying to navigate this pandemic, and I understand AEW, for lack of a better word, not wanting to blow their loads on everything that they've planned without fans, without anybody there to pop. So I'm trying to take that into consideration as I talk about these things. But I'll just say I'm looking forward to this week, and I'm counting on Orange, Cassidy, and Jericho to really make this thing count. So I guess we'll see.
I don't want to say spoiler alerts, but Jericho did say last night on his podcast that his match with Cassidy was one of the best matches he ever had, and that is the Saturday night Talk is Jericho he did live on Facebook. I'm referring to. If you guys want to go check it out, it was actually pretty good. I get bored of the Facebook stuff, though, because he goes into just talking about the YouTube comments. And I was like, I wanted you to just talk about something or have a guest on. I don't want you just to ramble YouTube comments off. But I got here. I got actually – there wasn't 4 matches on that. There was 5. So you must have missed one or slept on one.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to go through and talk about I'm just going to give you guys the match and just give me your thoughts on who you think should have went over, maybe what you thought about it in general. Just, give me some feedback on it. So I'm going to – actually, the first one I've written down I'm going to say for last because that's my favorite. So we'll go with Private Party and Proud and Powerful. Santana and Ortiz.
I forgot about that match.
That was actually a really – I enjoyed that match a lot, actually. That's why I was so understanding of why everyone kind of gave it heat. Because this match was going in, I was like, oh, whatever. Proud and Powerful is just going to fucking squash him. And then, Private Party gets the dub. And, you get a little bit of a Matt Hardy, inspiration in the match, which I thought was really cool. What was your thoughts, Matt?
No, that, actually, that's the match that I forgot about. Honestly,
here we go.
I don't know how I forgot about it.
Sleeping on the matches.
No, that was a really good match, actually.
I agree. If you got a chance to go look back at it, yes.
That was probably the saving grace of that episode, honestly. In my opinion. I think that was the saving grace of that episode was that match. Because, Private Party, they just put on a hell of a show, dude. And, Proud and Powerful, those two are probably...
They're so good.
They're probably one of my favorite tag teams that are in AEW right now. I mean, obviously the Young Bucks are the favorite for everybody, no matter what.
They should be.
Truthfully though, I think that it was a really good match, and I think that the winner was the correct choice to have them go over Proud and Powerful. I think that was a good idea because it kind of gives them a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
And I think really Proud and Powerful has the like the pedigree that like they can rebound pretty fast from a loss, and it's not really going to make that much of a difference for them. Yeah.
Well, I feel like Jason also, and I'm going to go to you, Josh, next. But Jason alluded to the fact that Matt Hardy being a part of Private Party, he just doesn't get it. And I mean, I guess I really don't get it either. But at the same time, like, it's wrestling. Don't you want to be different?
Yeah, but it's okay to be different, but it's like, and I think the reason that Matt Hardy's with them is kind of because he was like the high flyer, like, you know, back in when he was like, you know, I hate to say it, but back when he was around their age, he was more of a risk taker. They kind of are too, and I think that's why they kind of put them together. The pairing really doesn't make sense.
No,
and like,
really.
what happened to Broken Matt Hardy? Because like all of a sudden now he's not broken anymore.
So
which
Josh,
is really weird to me.
Josh, what do you think? What do you think of the whole Matt Hardy Private Party and just the Private Party and Proud and Powerful match in a whole?
I think that I agree that I am jonesing for some Broken Matt. I would love to see more of him. I think he's great. I don't understand the pairing right now. I think that we, you know, I'm going to try to trust that we have a long-term story here. Is Private Party going to be the Hardy Boys of AEW? I guess we'll wait and see. But in this moment, it's not making a ton of sense to me. I like the match because I think that Proud and Powerful is some of the best in the game. I love to watch these guys in the ring. I love the stories they tell. I like when that little one acts like a cat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
All
those things are fun. I thought the match was good. I wasn't sure that Private Party was going to win. I was a little bit surprised like that. And one of the things I don't want to see is them team with Matt Hardy. Then he's supposed to give them a push. Then they just lose to Kenny and Hangman Page. So I'm not really sure where we're going. But I would like to see more Broken Matt Hardy. I will agree with that.
Broken Matt Hardy is something that AEW does need. I did like a lot of the promos that Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy did. Like, even when he was transporting, a lot of people hated it. I thought it was fantastic.
Right.
So we'll go to like a big time match that I have written down here. Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford. We're gonna start with Josh this time. What do you think of Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford? I didn't care a little bit too much, but this, after watching the match, I started to care a lot. Like a lot. And even listening to what Swinshock said on Thursday was even fantastic. But what are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that right now, here's where I stand on the AEW women's division. I think that it has a long way to go. Okay, I watch it because I'm a fan of AEW. I want to give them my support. I think that Hikaru Shida is great. I think she's outstanding. I also think that people like Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair are not only the best women wrestlers in the world, but some of the best wrestlers in the world, hands down. So I think that we still have a lot of catching up to do. I'll say that this was my favorite women's match I saw so far. I thought both did great. I thought the Penelope Ford looked a million times better than what I thought she was going to look like.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, a million times better. The girl can go in the ring. I'm excited to see her. I'll say that this makes me think that the AEW's women's division has a chance, and I think that's good right now.
Let's go to you, Matt. What do you think about the whole Hikaru Shida Penelope Ford? Because I agree with Josh. I even said this on Thursday, that I thought this was a squash match for Shida. I thought this was going to be a quick, like maybe 20, not 20 minutes. I'm sorry, like a quick 5-10 minute match. Hikaru Shida, you know, they get Penelope Ford caught in some heelish actions with Kip Sabian on the side, bang, roll up finish, or you know whatever Shida's finishing move is. But what do you think? And Penelope Ford made a believer out of me. Joey Janela, I will say, also did quote that Penelope Ford is a fantastic wrestler, and that's who was also paired up with him for years.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you guys. I think that I think there's a lot more to come out of Penelope Ford that we haven't seen yet, and I think that's why everybody's kind of general assumption was going to be that, you know, Shida was going to just go over her and like that was going to be it.
But also, don't forget that Hikaru Shida still looks like $1 million too. Like you're on social media and I see nothing but Hikaru Shida.
Well, they did.
Like it's insane.
I think they did a really good job with this match of not diminishing the champion, which, let's face it, a lot of wrestling promotions, the one we don't talk about, does is they diminish their champions, and then the losers tend to go over the champions all the time because that's what people want. I think that they both did their job very, very well, and that's the reason it worked. And I think that if we see more matches out of Shida like this, I think we're going to be just fine. If they start doing squash matches where she's in there for like 2 to 5 minutes or whatever, just forget it. Like she needs to be, I hate to say it, but she needs to be like the Daniel Bryan of like the women's division, where if she's getting beat up, we're all like, oh, come on, man. There's no way we can let her get beat up. You know what I mean? And like
the ultimate baby face, yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's
she's the perfect person for that, though. If you agree, Josh, that Sheeta's probably one of the best, probably ultra baby faces out there.
Yeah, I think she's great. I think that she has a huge following of fans. I think that I agree that we need to let her wrestle in the ring as much as possible. I don't think she needs to squash at this point. I think that squashing should be reserved for Nyla Rose, and I think that Shida needs to go in the ring because she can go, and I think she'll show that the women's division can hang with any other promotion out there.
I agree.
Anyone else have anything else to add about Hikaru Shida and how great she is? Because she's not going to be a John Cena, but she's definitely going to be like she's going to be a big-time player in that fucking women's division, and I feel like she loves the attention she's getting. So we got a little bit of a match that I really didn't care for too much. It got better a little bit more towards the end, but the finish was a little out of the ordinary. Cody Rhodes versus Jake Hager. A little bit of a heelless finish from Cody. We're going to go back to Josh on this one, do like a 2-2. So let's see. What are your thoughts on the Jake Hager-Cody Rhodes match? I don't know if I should call him Cody or Cody Rhodes. I'm just going to call him Cody Rhodes. He deserves it.
I think that when Cody hit the throne with the sledgehammer, that I was so excited I wanted to rip my clothes off. And I was all in on Cody Rhodes. I thought that he was going to be the leader that took us to the promised land. I thought, this kid has it. He's going to surpass his brother and his dad, and he's going to be great. And everything that he's built and everything that he's done is good and unreal. But I don't understand why his first championship was the TNT belt. I guess to legitimize the belt and make it cool. And
that's why they gave it to Jericho, giving him the first heavyweight title.
Yeah.
They had to put like their top guy. And if you think about it, TNT, probably also was like, hey, and I don't want to say this is what it was, but I'm sure TNT's like, look, if you're going to put our name on your belt, be the first one to hold it to make sure it's like solidified. So you have a point there. I agree.
And I understand that. I would have liked to seen the Cody character play out. I would like to see his first belt be the AEW championship belt. I'd like for him to win it off of MJF. But I don't know. I don't know that Cody needed the push with the TNT belt, and I don't know how many guys he's got to keep beating with it to prove that he's worthy. I mean, he already started a company with his friends. I mean, he accomplished the dream. I don't know. I don't know if he needs the belt. I don't know if I can buy in to him being an underdog, considering he's the executive vice
EVP,
of
EVP for short.
Yeah, so I don't. I like Cody, and I want to be a major fan, but I don't know if I'm interested in him just beating somebody for the belt every single week. I think that overexposure of a belt is just as criminal as Brock taking it and disappearing for 6 months. Okay, I think they can have the same effect.
You don't want another John Cena effect in a way where everyone just kind of gets bored and starts saying Cody sucks or something like that.
Right. So I don't know where this goes. I know that I am a Cody fan, but I would like to see I would like to just care more about this, I think.
So as far as like Cody being a heel, what are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't mind if he turned heel.
But do you feel like that's going to kind of ruin the idea of an MJF versus Cody match for the TNT title and then just having two heels against each other?
Yeah, because nobody in that company should be heel besides MJF because he's perfect.
Yeah, I guess he's like the ultimate heel.
So I don't think that Cody can go heel and fight him. I think that Cody has to stay face if he's going to battle MJF, but
he's going to be a face I'm going to leave it go to Matt here. So you have a face winning on a heelish act. What are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes possibly going heel, and then go into your thoughts on the Jake Hager-Cody Rhodes match?
I smell a heel turn coming. I just do, and maybe it's just because I've watched it for so long. I don't know. I think that they're going to try to turn him heel. I don't think it's going to work, personally. I think that it's way too early to turn him heel. Like you said, he hasn't finished up with MJF yet totally. I think that whenever he does finish up with MJF, the perfect time would have been to like MJF comes out, says he's sorry to the Elite, whatever, and then Cody just completely blasts his ass and goes off on his own. Mm-hmm. I think that would have made sense. I don't see it happening, but I think that would have made sense.
Well, you have that week where he did come out and saying, "Am I even a part of the Elite anymore?"
Well, exactly. Well, see, that's the thing though. They drop these little trinkets to you, but then they just don't elaborate on them, and that's kind of.
But maybe I think that's I want to call it I'm going to call it here on this podcast the slow drip.
It is, but it's like
that makes sense to you, Josh.
Sure. But if you're planting seeds for stories, right? That's fine, but you have to elaborate on that story within a month and a half period. You can't just drop a seed in March and then in August. Now we're going to go ahead and do the story. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. I know COVID's a thing. There's a reason that a lot of stuff probably didn't happen or did happen or whatever. So that's another. Obviously, that's another hurdle to have to jump over. As far as the match goes, probably the worst thing I've ever watched. Dude, it was bad. It was so bad.
I kind of got I was a little weirded out. I was actually uncomfortable how bad it was. So I was like, why is it so bad? Because these are two great athletes going at each other, but I just couldn't vibe.
I can tell you right now the reason why. You have two athletes that have a very slow, methodical moveset. Very slow-paced moveset. Cody has his little burst of whatever, but it's not constant. You know what I'm saying? He has a more old-school mentality whenever he's wrestling. And
that's why I like Cody so much.
Exactly. And that's probably why you like Jake Hager so much, too. It's more of a ground-and-pound type of deal. But whenever you have two of those guys fighting each other, you got to have – they should have had Cody, doing a backflip off the rope or something. Anything that would have
spiced it up a little bit, yeah.
Yes. Because Jake Hager doing a backflip off a rope, honestly, let's face it, he would have broke his freaking neck.
I think he would have been able to do that. I think he would have.
I don't think I would have. I don't think I want to.
I would have let him do it. So your thoughts on Jake Hager? Do you feel like this is a way to protect him by maybe doing the heelish move?
I think I think Hager should have took the title straight away. I think Hager should have fought. I think Hager should have fought Cody. I think he should have choked him the hell out, and he should have walked off with the title, and then build a feud between him and El Champion. I think that would have been a perfect time to do it, and that way you can kind of turn Jericho, not exactly face, but let's face it, Jericho can be either one. It isn't going to make a difference. And I think the Inner Circle, honestly, they're not even coming together as a group right now because of COVID. So at that point, just kind of let them go their separate way. And, God damn it, I miss Sammy Guevara, dude. I'm just going to put that out there. That kid was the bread and butter for me in the Inner Circle. And, he's just – him being gone, there's just something missing, man.
What about you, Josh?
I'll tell you that this was the first AEW match that felt like a WWE match, I think.
Yep.
I could agree with that. I
am a Jake Hager fan. I'm a Jack Swagger fan from back in the day. I think that We the People was great.
Every time he gets ready to do it, I want to do it.
Said we can't say that, so I'd like to formally apologize to him. I think that this is just an instance of this idea suffering because of COVID. Because I mean, the belt's ugly, right? The belt's ugly. The match was ugly, so it's hard to care about anything right now. I'm assuming when this is over, we're going to have a new belt. We're going to breathe a little lifeblood into this. But Jake Hager and Cody by themselves are obviously great performers, and I don't know what this was supposed to be, but I don't think it was whatever they were going for.
Well, I'll tell you something that was, and I shouldn't do this now, but I want to get it out of the way because we talked about all the real heavy matches. Let's talk about probably the heaviest match of the night: Hangman and Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus the Best Friends. Who didn't love the intro? Like, did you guys love the Best Friends intro? Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is where if they lost fans, they got them right back probably at that moment. And I know this is the main event, and I'm kind of going for the main event, and then the next topic's going to be about like the first match of the night. But I want to talk about this one now just because it made me so happy.
I agree.
So go ahead. We'll go with Matt this time. Go ahead and break it down real quick.
All right. I mean, I think that I think the match was good. I don't think it was great, but I think it was good. Again, I think that the belt should have changed. I think they should have changed hands. I think if you're going to have a match like this at Fyter Fest, which I mean that was kind of a big deal, at least last year anyway. Fyter Fest is a pretty big deal. I think they should have switched hands. I think we're getting in WWE territory where every pay-per-view, no one's really losing a belt. I mean, which I know this isn't a pay-per-view, but I mean, realistically, this is as close you're going to get as of now until the next one, whenever the next one is, the 15th or something. I don't know.
Yeah, next Wednesday, yeah. Or are you talking about the Fight for the Fallen?
Fight for the Fallen, yeah. I mean, they got to do some title changes like sometime here soon, like because you're really getting in like WWE territory where like I feel like I'm just watching the same match over and over again, and nothing's coming out of it. I just think that it's time now, like for them to like if you're gonna do it, like now would have been the perfect time. I think to just throw the titles on them. That's all I gotta say about it.
I'm not gonna lie. With the entrance, I'm gonna throw this to you now, Josh. With the entrance of the Best Friends, they deserve the titles. What did you think, Josh?
I think that I will, as the guest, respectfully disagree with the host. I don't think the belt should have changed. I don't think anybody can carry them except for Hangman and Kenny Omega. I think they're the best. I think the Best Friends is great, and I wasn't sure about the Best Friends at first, but I thought the match was great. I thought the entrance was everything that I love about AEW. And I would not have been mad if they won, but I don't know if they're the guys to carry the torch. I don't know if anyone's better than Kenny and Hangman right now. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I don't think that the Best Friends, I don't think they carry the brand right now. I think that Kenny and Hangman, they carry the brand still, and I think I think the right guys won, but I think it is more realistic this week that Private Party get a push. But I still think if I'm booking, I keep the belts where they are right now.
I don't see Montez Ford Montez. Wow, no, I always get the Private Party and the Street Profits mixed up all the time. But Private Party getting the chance next week. Do I think they're going to win? Absolutely not. But they're going to put on a fucking show with Kenny and Hangman.
No,
I've been notorious for saying this. I wish that Kenny and Hangman would drop the belts and do single stuff.
Sure.
But then you watch this match, you're like, but damn, that's so good to watch. You hate to not miss it, but you want to see them succeed as single stars. But then you also get, and I'm going to go back to you, Josh, about this. So you got the post-match scene of this. This was the ending of AEW where Kenny Omega gets offered the beer because FTR comes out and dumps it all out. And now you got FTR with Hangman behind him, Mother F and the Young Bucks with Kenny behind him. So you got a 3v3 right there. Is that a little prelapse? Because we already do have the Hangman getting ready to hit Kenny with the belt.
Right.
At maybe a month ago now?
Yeah.
And that's another part of the slow drip effect. The ghost named Greg calls it here the slow drip effect.
I'll say that just to close out the last point, that I will agree with Matt that we very quickly have to get to a place to where we're not watching these matches and we already know the winner. Because I agree that we are not there right now. I 100%. I will not argue that point. I do think that we saw some foreshadowing in the ring. I think we saw the next 6-man tag match, and I love it. I love it. If that's what they decide to do, if that's how this goes down, I'd love the tease. I like that we don't have FTR versus the Young Bucks yet. I think that's cool. I think that we're going to slow play that, even though everybody wants to see it. And
we'll see what happens Wednesday.
Sure, absolutely. We'll wait and see. But I'm excited to watch that. I'm excited to see what goes down.
I'm excited to see that too.
I can agree with that. I just think it's weird. I don't know, man. Like having a 6-way match between the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, FTR, and Hangman Adam Page. I don't get me wrong. I think it would be a very good match. I think that it would be probably one of the best matches on the card. But it's like, if you're gonna have Kenny and Hangman as the tag team champions, and you're gonna do, like Greg said, you have the slow drip effect. You're kind of going from a slow drip to turning the faucet on all the way. You know what I mean? And it's like, granted, yeah, that's cool if that's what you want to do, but I think it's a little too soon in that story, because like I said before, they put these little, like Greg said, they put these little droplets out there, and it's like you haven't built a story around it other than maybe he's going to attack Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden now they're fighting each other. It's like okay, all right, well, I mean, that's cool. Nobody's going to say, hey, don't have a Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page match. Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I'd love to see that. That would be fantastic.
Well, I'm going to stop you there and get into the next topic, because what I lastly have to say all ties into these last 2 matches here. You have the Jurassic Express, which is Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, and my man Jungle Boy, versus MJF and Wardlow. I'm
going to predict, Greg, that we're going to disagree immensely on what's next.
And I think Josh and I think we talked about this last episode you were on. I am a huge supporter of the Jurassic Express. I love me some Marco Stunt. I love me some Luchasaurus, question mark kicks. But me and JT did discuss on Thursday, you can notice when he does his leg slap, which is a little disheartening. If he gets better at that, he's going to be elevated. Plus, he's going to be a little bit quicker. But I'm not the man's a professional. He's doing everything we love to do. Something I wish I can do. So I'm not going to tell him what to do. Just keep doing you, boo boo. Just keep being awesome, because I love the man. And you guys know how I feel about Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is going to be he's probably going to be the next star in the next 2 or 3 years. So we're going to go. Josh, apparently you have the hot take on this one, so go ahead. What did you not like about Jurassic Express defeating MJF and Wardlow?
Well, I'll tell you what I do like. I like Jungle Boy. And I like Jungle Boy a lot. I would have actually liked to see Jungle Boy be the first TNT champion. I think that's where that belt belongs. And I think he's too big for that belt. But whatever, that's last segment. I'll tell you this about Jurassic Express. I was watching the match with my wife, and when Marco Stunt came on the screen, my wife said, "Who's that turd?" So I think that's what people might think of Marco Stunt, but I'm not here to talk about him. I'm here to talk about Luchasaurus.
Ooh,
okay.
This is a hot take on Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus first came out, and he was a giant man with a dinosaur mask on. I all but fell in love. Okay, he was 6'7". He was tattooed.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever he is. His tongue was green. And he did a standing backflip in the middle of the ring, and I think I stood up and clapped when I was standing on my couch. Okay, after last week, I hope they take Luchasaurus out back and they put a bullet in his head. And I hope
ouch.
Okay, because here's what let me tell you the way a Jurassic Express match goes down. 11 out of 10 times, Greg. 11 out of 10. This is how it happens. Marco Stunt comes down, and he's ugly, and he runs around the ring. Okay? Jungle Boy's the first one in. He wrestles 19 and a half minutes. Luchasaurus gets a hot tag. right? He ducks under the clothesline. He does a spinning back kick to a stomach. It takes him a little bit too long to do his first kick because the guy's not ready. He smacks himself apparently right in the butt cheek. Then he hits him with a spinning back one. Then he hits him with a choke slam. Then the guy's been blah, blah, blah. Then the Jungle Boy comes back in. Okay, if Luchasaurus wants to be the first ever 9-foot tall luchador, I guess, we can't know what he's going to do every match. He does the same 5 things every match, and then he rolls out of the ring, and the match either ends with a choke slam or him missing a choke slam and somebody getting rolled up.
So you want more so him being like a single star, not a tag team star. You don't think he has what it has to offer a tag team?
I understand that his dream is to be a luchador and be 6'7", but my only point to him is I get it, but there's also a reason those don't exist because I don't think he can do it. I think he's predictable. I think he makes Jungle Boy boring, and he either needs to be a big guy or get another moveset because right now it's like the one moveset that JT has in Mortal Kombat that he doesn't think I know how to beat. Okay? It's just one moveset, and it becomes predictable and it becomes boring, and people want to see more. And remember, right now, I'm done with Luchasaurus.
We are presented by the PVGA, so let's try not slandering the fellow competitors. Okay. Let's try. I'm all down for slander, but right now, not on the first episode.
I will say this. MJF, great as always. Wardlow made Luchasaurus look good.
Yes, he did.
And I underestimated what Wardlow would be in the ring. I am pleasantly surprised this dude can go. I'm excited for when whatever happens with him and MJF play out. But I thought that Luchasaurus was a weak point in a match that had Marco Stunt in it. And I
like that. And we know my thoughts on IWC. We're going to cover that at some point because I know you know a little bit of the IWC as well. Absolutely. So, Matt, how about you give me your thoughts on the Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow match?
You know, like part of me, like I'm like him in this aspect. When I first saw Luchasaurus, I was like, this is going to be awesome, man. It's a full-grown man in a fucking dinosaur mask that's going to, like, just go in here and kick some ass, right? The problem with it is they let him talk. That's what killed it for me, dude.
He has a master's degree.
Yeah, well, as soon as he started going, I have a master's degree, yada, yada, yada. Pair him up with the librarian. Nobody cares. I'm sorry.
You know what? Cares. I'm not going to say no one cares. I actually would not mind seeing Peter Avalon and Leva Bates and Luchasaurus in a tag.
No, I'm talking about Luchasaurus' master degree. Nobody cares.
Oh,
like I understand.
I care about that tag team now. I want to see that happen.
No, I understand that you're a human. Like I understand you're a human trying to be a dinosaur. You probably have an education. Most people do. Good for you, buddy. Like it's like. And again, like Josh said, like the move set is just so bad, dude. Like I mean, it's like circa Kane 1990, like 1997
with some
like,
flips.
Dude, like,
I mean, I can see that, but I still.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's crazy is
I'm not dogging Lucas. I can't do
the Wardlow match that he had as a singles competitor was honestly really good. The two of them put on a hell of a show. Then you
that's the point I like Josh that made. Yeah.
Then you get into a tag team match. And it's like the worst thing that's ever happened. And I feel like he holds Jungle Boy back. I think that's the biggest gripe for me is that he holds him back. And Jungle Boy is like, listen, my buddy, I need to stay here with him. But it's like, dude, like, I don't know about you, but like, I mean.
Remember, the original tag team that was actually supposed to be, it was actually going to be Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy. But Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy did have like a connection in the Indies, and they're like, well, let's just bring you guys all three together. So it's not so much that like they really needed Luchasaurus to be out there. It would have been cool if they had Marco Stunt, but then again, everyone wants to see the Luchasaurus versus Wardlow match, but they want Luchasaurus versus Wardlow, I guess, not MJF and Wardlow versus Jurassic Express.
Well,
but I will say that this entire MJF Jungle Boy storyline, man, I'm eating it up.
Well, yeah, no, that's all good. Like I'm putting like Jungle Boy and MJF off to the side. Even Wardlow, honestly, you could remove those three from that match. And the only person who really messed it up, in my opinion, and it's not even so much that he messed it up, is he's just not that entertaining to watch, and that's Luchasaurus. Dude, do a flip off the rope. You call yourself a lucha libre. You do no move sets that a lucha libre does. Jungle Boy, on the other hand, does. So why don't you guys switch names? You can become the big white gorilla, and he can become Jungle Boy, who actually does like lucha libre moves. And you come in there and just tombstone somebody and walk off for power.
I'm gonna strongly disagree with both you guys. I feel like it was a great match. Any match that has Jungle Boy versus MJF, and then you include one of my favorite IWC wrestlers, Wardlow, in there, it's going to be fantastic either way.
Yes, the match was good, but you also left out Luchasaurus in that.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I said Jurassic Express. They're all fuck you. Anyways, Luchasaurus, he's still figuring out the kinks. He's on a bigger show where he's shown a lot more people. As the time grows, he'll get better. Everyone gets better over time.
Well, that's where you're wrong, though.
No, I'm not wrong. Don't you tell me I'm wrong.
No. Because he was in NXT, so he's been on a bigger stage. He's been on a
he was on Big Brother too. So he should
he should go back to Big Brother and reality shows.
I know that AEW doesn't have a 6'7" face as a singles competitor, and I don't know why that can't be him.
It will be.
Yeah, I agree.
Let him wrestle like a big guy. Let him choke slam him. And let's see what happens because.
Dude, could you imagine if him and Murder Hawk had a match and he actually had Lucha Libre, like a skill set like that? Dude, like he would destroy him. He would destroy him.
Nah, I think Luchasaurus would put up a good fight against Lance Archer. That'd be something I think they're building up to.
Luchasaurus would destroy Murder Hawk.
I thought you were saying another way.
If he had a Lucha Libre actual like bag of tricks that he could pull out on a guy that size who could take a move from him that size. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's get into talking about I brought up a 3-person tag, or I brought up 2 tag matches, but I want to talk about something I feel like AEW, I think they want to do, and they kind of alluded to towards the end of the match. This is going back to the 3v3 match, talking about Hangman and FTR versus Kenny and the Bucks. A 6-man tag belt would not be a bad option for AEW to consume. I think it would be fantastic. You have the Jurassic Express, you have SCU, you have possibly even those 3 tag teams. The Dark Order, you get Brody Lee with the Super Smash Bros., a.k.a. the Dark Order. Like, a lot of people don't know that the Super Smash Bros. Are the Dark Order. I remember a lot of people were wondering who that was on Facebook, and I was like, you guys don't watch independent wrestling. So, what do you guys think about a 6-man tag team belt coming to AEW? I'm going to go with Matt first, and we'll toss it over to Josh.
It's going to happen. It has to happen.
The Bucks were known to have a 6-man title belts often, not just in ROH, but I think in New Japan as well. There was a never middleweight, or I forget what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there was one in Japan. Though,
they do so many 3-way tag matches, 3-on-3 tag matches. They have to at this point. And honestly, I feel like they have to because the Young Bucks need to hold a title, and they're not going to give them the tag team championship anytime soon. That's what I feel like. I feel like they're just because, I don't know. I just don't feel like they're going to do it. And, I just don't think they're going to do it. And I think they need to hold a title though, because they're kind of losing their luster, I think. And that's why they need to make a 3-man tag team match, belt.
I just think I think overall it would just be interesting. What do you think, Josh?
I'm cool with a 3-man tag belt. I think that they right now have the talent to do it. I think that one of the things that I am that is a underlying concern for me is that I wonder how many people AEW is going to let in. I wonder how many singles competitors are going to let in, how many tag teams we're going to let in, because I don't know if we need all of them. But I do think we need some, and I think that no one has done tag team wrestling well in a very long time. AEW is doing it well right now, but because of that, I think more tag teams will want to go there. But you can't have too many because then it gets sloppy and then it gets weird. So I think having a 3-man tag belt just gives these teams another chance to to show their talents and to have their belt and to continue to legitimize the tag team brand.
Well, being an AEW who's focused more on like rankings and whatnot, it's going to be interesting to see if they do add a 3-man belt, because that is kind of like a division that they, at the Young Bucks, and I'm going to just go back to it again, a lot of those EVPs actually know about. I mean, in Japan, in Ring of Honor, and like they know that there's an appeal for it. There is something for it that people enjoy, and I think they can add that and they can put their own spin on it. I mean, it's only a matter of time. They're going to build factions in this. They have to at least do that. I hope it's not like a faction belt. I hope it's like a 3v3 belt. Don't overdo it. Just stick with the basics. So anything else you guys are excited for next week? I know Moxley and Cage got pushed back till, what was that job? Fight for the Fallen. That's not next week, but the week after.
I feel like that was kind of convenient for them. Not to be offensive to AEW, but I feel like that was kind of convenient to them, because now you're gonna have to pay to watch that match where before you were gonna get it for free.
And also, it's gonna be kind of nice, because I think the promos, and I'll go to you, Josh, first. But the promos that Taz has been putting on, they've been pretty nice. Like, they were harsh to WWE, but they were nice. I mean, if you
I don't mind Taz on the mic right now. I think that Brian Cage has the obviously the look of a monster. He becomes kind of AEW's Brock, I think, and I'm not mad if he takes the belt and he goes on a run. I understand pushing off the match. I think they were actually hoping that they could have crowds by then. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to the Brian Cage match, but I think for this week I am Jones in the Sea.
Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho.
Oh,
I know.
It is a match that's there's not a lot of matches that are on my mind at all times, and I keep thinking about what this is going to be, and I think it has the potential to be great. And I just hope that's what it is, because I'm playing it up big in my mind, and probably too big, and I'm putting some unfair pressure on these guys, but I'm expecting one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So.
What are your thoughts, Matt? What are you excited to see for next week's Fyter Fest 2?
I mean, the match that I was excited for is going to now be a paid event. So, I mean, and I mean, not to take anything away from them, but like if there were fans and stuff, like I probably would pay to see it. There's not. It's just going to look like a regular show. So, I mean, not that I don't want to know who wins. I do, but that's what the internet's for. It'll tell me who won after the matches are over. So, like, I mean, my thing is like, I want to say, like, Jericho, anything he touches is golden. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Like the dude has just been in it for so long at this point that anything he does is going to be off the chain. My only hope is that whenever he retires, he just becomes an announcer full time. Like, just full time, just become an announcer, but just don't lose the Le Champion like mindset. And like, even if he's never going to wrestle again, that's fine. Just act like you're going to.
Well, it's funny you bring up him being an announcer, because a lot of people even said Chris Jericho needed to be off the announce table. They said he did it too much. They're kind of getting bored with it.
No, dude.
I didn't find that to be a thing, but there are some people out there that said that it was a little bit on the boring side, and I can't agree with that. Chris Jericho speaking in itself is just happy to me.
Greg, you know what we call those people?
What's that?
We call them stupid.
Absolutely.
Call those people stupid.
Because that dude
wants it all the time.
Dude, he can literally sit there and read the instructions off a cardboard box, and you would sit there and listen to it, just because of how dramatic he would make it be, and how flamboyant it would be, like, for him to do it. Like, he'd give you a freaking banana nut bread recipe, and your ass to be sitting there all about it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't go as far as call him stupid, but I will say that it's definitely not something I would point to. Josh will call him stupid. I will not. I will just call them
uninformed.
Stupid. So we'll get into something that I also wanted to bring up real quick. Did you guys know those wrestlers who were released from WWE are able to compete on July 15th?
Yeah, none of them are
EC3?
coming over to. No, EC3 already signed with TNA. None of them are coming over to
I don't think that's
AEW.
confirmed, but I'll take your word on it. But I think EC3 to AEW would be fantastic.
EC3 to TNA, well, I'm sorry, Impact would be the best move in his career ever. Because he had so much hype there, dude. It would kill him to go anywhere else.
I'd like to see Matt Cardona.
I'd like to see Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns isn't going to come there because he's not released.
Is he?
He's not.
Jericho alluded to it on
He's still a champion.
different podcasts, man. I
Still
don't know.
champion.
I don't know. He alluded to it on a couple different podcasts.
Actually, no, he's not champion. Braun Strowman's champion now, ain't he?
Yeah. I'm telling you, Jericho has alluded to it on several different occasions that if there's anybody in the WWE right now he wants to bring over to AEW, Roman Reigns would be the guy. And honestly, I'm cool with that. Like, that's fine with me because to see Roman Reigns outside of WWE being restricted,
I think,
might be good.
And I think, well, JT and I did a little discussion on Roman Reigns to a possible other company, and I think I said I wouldn't. I just keep him. I don't see him in a different company. I think he's WWE ride or die.
I don't think he is.
What do you think?
I don't
John?
think he's like. I don't think he likes the way that he's been treated because you figure they removed him off of any. No, dude, they removed him off of every video that's been out since he left due to COVID. Like he has an illness that actually like makes it like impossible for him to go and do his job at this point. And like you just stripped him of every bit of video coverage that you have. I mean, recently they started adding him back in a little bit, but I'm telling you, I think people have feelings, dude. Like you start removing me off of videos and stuff like that. You know, I have 5, 6, 7 years worth of videos, and like you don't want to play them on your channel or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he gets pretty fucking salty, and he lives in Florida, so he knows all about salt.
What do you think, Josh?
I think he does know about salt. That's a fair take. I think that I think a lot of things. I think out of the gate, I agree that Roman Reigns is a WWE guy for life. I think that it doesn't matter how many videos you take me out of because I know that check is coming whenever I come back, and Vince McMahon's going to let me win the Rumble again. You know, I don't have any doubt about that. So I see.
He's such an ultra baby face. For him to go somewhere else would be just idiotic.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the best move for him. I mean, I could maybe like Reigns if I see him do something else, but I think he's a WWE guy. I think he's comfortable. I think he's making money. I think it's good for him and his family. I did see that EC3 dropped that AEW teaser there on Twitter.
I love that. That was such a good promo too.
Yeah, I would like
to. If you haven't watched it yet, Matt, go watch it. He literally includes half the roster in the promo, and it's just fantastic.
It was very interesting. So I would be really cool if EC3 came. Listen, I'm a closet Zack Ryder fan too.
I'm not a Zack Ryder fan. I'm a Matt Cardona fan.
Okay, fair. Only because next time I guess on the To Be Named podcast, we'll have a good Zack Ryder story that involves JT that he hates to tell. So
he actually did say this Thursday, and that's why I kind of brought it up a little bit, is he told me that he hated Zack Ryder. And I was like, he's like the woo guy. I'm like, yeah, Zack Ryder. He's like, yeah, I fucking hate him. I'm like, what's wrong with Zack Ryder?
Listen, that's a story for that podcast for sure. But
I'll have to dig in on that one.
There was nothing that makes him matter and me smile more than to see Zack Ryder come out behind the AEW curtain.
That is actually very funny. I'm going to dig in. I know Matt, I think you're a Zack Ryder guy. Didn't you say you like Zack Ryder?
He's all right.
He's all right.
I mean, to be honest with you, like his body of work is so convoluted because of WWE, it's hard to say. It really truthfully is. I mean, there was good times and there was bad times with him.
Hold on, we're getting a phone call. Go ahead. What's up, JT?
What's going on this podcast?
We actually were just about to talk about some IWC stuff, and you're coming and interrupting us.
Who's all there?
Well, we got Josh here, we got Matt, we got myself, and now you, and you're on here, and we're just recording.
Greetings and salutations, Matt. We haven't met yet.
How's it going, buddy?
He said, "How's it going, buddy?"
Put me on speakerphone and put me up to that microphone. I got something to say.
Well, you are on speakerphone and you are up to the microphone, so.
Well, Let me tell you something. But yeah, I don't need to even know what the response is, but let me tell you something. Let me tell this Josh here. I know what you two are doing, and I know you're getting together to cry about Chad's little decree, but I just want to say there's no need to cry. And if Josh, if you just keep your chin up, kid, and if you keep seeking, eventually you will find. Champ out.
That was unexpected. Did not plan that. That was funny though.
Yeah, funny. Funny's one word.
Hey man, I gotta keep it neutral on the podcast.
Sure, yeah. And listen, the only thing I'll say is that I hear him. I'm disappointed with the decision that Chad made, but you know, I'm an EVP and I'm busy. I got meetings with investors and talent. It would be nice to sit home and try to do rags on all day for sure, and then make a video. But
yeah, we can only abide by the colonel as much as we can, you know.
Sure. I mean, I have to listen to him, and I have you know, I have plans for the belt, and I plan on making a claim for my title shot. But like we said, Greg, that's for another day. So.
Well, we'll get into that here momentarily, but let me finish up by talking about one thing real quick, which is the IWC, which is finally making their comeback. I believe it is July 16th. It is on a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check to verify. But it is back in business. It's going to be their first show. It's going to be in the Elizabeth, PA. I can't remember the exact. Oh wow, that's not it. And I was watching Six Pack Jack Pollock last night on his show on July 11th. July 11th is IWC back in business. Man, am I excited for that. Sadly, I can't go. I'm going to try being a little bit safer. As much as I want to go, we are going to have, at one point in time, I think all of us, I'd like to get even Josh together, me, you, Josh, and JT. We'll go down and check them out, wear our T-shirts, and show support, because I want to start talking more about the IWC. Being that there hasn't been a whole lot of IWC for you to watch, Matt. Last show I was at was, I think the night Jimmy Vegas cheated to beat Jack Pollock for the belt, and that was awesome. It was a hell of a night. It was a scary night, and it was fantastic. I'm a big Jackson Argos fan, so I mean, you got to do your research on some of those guys. Josh, I'm aware you know some of these people, if I'm not mistaken.
I will absolutely take this opportunity to give a plug and a shout out to the IWC Super Indie champion Johnny Patch, the first man ever, I believe, to hit a coast-to-coast shooting star press. I have known Johnny Patch since he was a young man and his family. He has been a wrestling fan for as long as I've known him. He has a dream to be the New Japan World Heavyweight Champ, and I don't see any reason why he is not on his way right now.
It's actually really funny you bring up Johnny Patch. You sent me his Twitter. I actually already follow him on Twitter. Johnny Patch, I actually was outside having a vape break at that same event I'm just talking about, and he's one of the customers, one of the wrestlers I seen outside. I even said, "Hey, Johnny Patch, you had a really good match tonight." He said, "Thanks," and we bullshit for a second. So it's funny you bring up Johnny Patch as that guy. He probably don't remember me, but he was a fucking really nice guy. I also met the fucking the Italian guy. He was going to Get-Go to get something to eat. But yeah, the fucking Johnny Patch is a good guy. That's kind of neat. So yeah, I definitely want to try doing that. We're not gonna be able to make back to business, but we'll all have to get together. I mean, there's 4 of us now. It went from being 2 guys talking wrestling to 3 guys talking about wrestling to 4.
Sure.
But now that we talked all the wrestling and the IWC, let's get back to this phone call. What the fuck is this shit going on, man? Why, we got this. We try to be so cordial on this show, and then we get a phone call from JT Swin Gaming coming in here, gloating about his fucking belt, like this fucking belt. So I guess being the neutral party on the podcast, I'm gonna have to bring up Josh. I mean, is there anything you got to? We'll give you a formal response because we just spoke about how we're cool with the Colonel. We got to obey by the Colonel, but you don't want to get punched in the face.
Yeah,
let's get raped in prison.
Sure. I'll tell you this. I don't
know if that's right to say, but whatever.
I'm not sure it is either. I'll tell you this. I know that. Look. In this moment, he has the belt. There's not a lot to be said about that. I mean, the champion can say whatever he or she wants. Hence, they own the belt. So, I understand his. Some would call it his arrogance. I'll call it confidence for now.
I'll call it confidence as well. A lot of people do call it arrogance. I think he's very confident in what he does.
I also know that I'm looking forward to see him being tested, and I'm looking forward to be the man that test him. There were some things behind the scenes with PVGA that are going on this week that are hopefully are really big. Is really big news that we can announce. I got to fulfill the EVP role first, and that's what I'm working on here. So I need to get through these last couple meetings I have, and then I think that both the Colonel and Chad will see that it's the right decision to allow me to challenge for the belt, and I'm looking forward to see his response, and I'm looking forward more so to meeting him, in MK. So,
well, he did inform me that it's not just MK11; it can be any Mortal Kombat in the Mortal Kombat arsenal. So I will ask you this. I'm Matt. I'm going to see if you have any questions for him after this. Have you been practicing? You've been in the lab? Have you been perfecting or?
Sure, I've been.
Because I haven't seen any I'm on the top boards anymore. Get me a little worried about if you're ready for it.
There is no reason to be concerned. I will say that I am in the dojo, as they say. I am working on my moves. I am looking forward to counteracting his 12-hit combo he has with Scorpion. But I don't want to give too much of my strategy away. I didn't call him a one-trick pony. That wasn't me. That was somebody else. I'm just repeating what I hear.
I agree.
So I have been in the dojo. I've been practicing, fulfilling my other roles that I have. But soon and very soon, we will make this situation right, and I am looking forward to it.
So, Matt, would you like to ask him anything about the PVGA or his strategy going into trying to prepare for El Champion?
No, I mean, it sounds like you guys are playing some Mortal Kombat. That's cool, man.
Sure.
Where can you watch it at? Are you guys on Twitch, where you can watch it, or?
Well, right now, I think that's to be determined.
Correct.
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay. All right. I just didn't know, because I'm on Twitch. So.
I will say that I believe some part of this showing will be helped by the Super Bernardo Bros and all of us as a whole. I can say that, but as far as anything other than that, I am not too sure.
Okay.
But I mean, I was hoping you were going to ask something like this. So, what are characters you're looking to bring in? Who's someone you feel confident in, like a Raiden or a Scorpion or a Sub-Zero? Who do you feel confident in, or is that asking too much?
I'll tell you that here's what I can reveal. I don't know that I want to give my character away in this moment. I don't want him
figured.
time to practice. But I know that what is coming, he will not see, and he cannot prepare for. So
it's a noob Cybot, isn't it?
Matt.
It's MK3 Goro.
Yeah, I look forward to his reaction when he finds out. I look forward even more to
Is there any spoilers out there you want to give to the fans who are looking forward to this Magic? We've been we've been pushing it. Give us a spoiler.
I'll say this about my character. I'll tell you who it's not. It's not who he expects.
Yes.
It's not who the fans expect. And that's as spoiled as it gets.
It's Noob Cybot. I'm calling it right now, Matt. Noob Cybot.
It's smoke.
It's smoke. well, aren't Noob Cybot and smoke aren't the same person? But damn, that would have been a real good comparison.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got today, Matt. You don't have anything to talk about? You have anything else to say post show?
No. Just
all right. Well, let's go ahead. We got about a minute left here. Let's try to cop up real quick. Matt, go ahead and tell people how they can find you on social media.
So you can find me on Twitch now at twitch.tv/slowxbroking86, and I'll be doing some live streams and stuff actually at about 12 o'clock tonight. And there's a schedule and stuff on there. So there's that. You can also find us on YouTube at M&B Gaming if you go search that. And then there's also a Facebook group called M&B Gaming that you can go to, and all of the updates will be on there. We also promote like the Super Bonato Brothers channel. We basically anything that's localized that we can promote for you to go watch, we will promote it. You can promote yourself there as well. So if anybody wants to go on there and join, it's just like a big message board basically where it is where you can just promote the shit out of yourself. So
Josh, where can people find you on social media?
They can find me on the PVGA Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Professional Video Game Alliance Facebook page. If you come there, all of my professional announcements will be there. You can follow along. You can go on this ride with us. So PVGA on Facebook. You can find everything you need there.
And you can find me on Twitter at the Ghost Named Greg, on Instagram at the Ghost Named Greg. You can find me on twitch.tv/the Ghost Named Greg. Everything, Ghost Named Greg, anything basically. You can find me on there. You guys have been really giving us a lot of support. This show went a lot better than I expected. I had a lot of fun filming. I hope everyone else felt the same. So thanks, guys, for tuning in to AJW. Sorry for not being there last week, but we felt we needed to revamp for this week, and I feel like we did so. So I hope everyone takes care. Make sure you guys check out the IWC July 11th. And we'll be recapping what we said on about Fighter Fest next week. So stay tuned.